cake is baked, that's when we're issuing that flash flood warning. So as things come together and we see it on radar and observations, so rain gauges out there, we'll be watching all of this through the night, and we'll be issuing flash flood warnings on those bands of rain that come through, so long as they meet the criteria for flash flood warning. But we expect these bands to far exceed the criteria for our flash flood warnings tonight.
So what happens if someone just goes to bed and all of a sudden these warnings start going off? I mean, they're kind of already behind the process to evacuate? Because you're saying,
yeah, Mark, that's a really, really good question. So if you are on or near a burn scar in a susceptible area to post-wildfire debris flows, now is your time to take action. Because if you're right, Mark, if you're asleep in the middle of the night and you have your phone next to you, and if you have power, if your cell phone's charged, if it's on, all these things, you should have redundant forms of communication through the night. But if your phone goes off and you're getting a wireless emergency alert from us about a flash flood warning, you can literally have seconds to tens of minutes to get to a safe spot. And that safe spot at that point is going to be an upstairs elevated spot in your building, or potentially up a hill. And all you need to do is get up probably like 30 feet or 60 feet out of a drainage. And if you get up out of that drainage, you should be okay. But again, we don't even want you to think, am I going to be okay? We want you to know that you are going to be okay by making sure that you get yourself out of harm's way ahead of time. And those are specifically for those people in or near the burn scars.
And if you're not in or near the burn scar, are you still in a flash flood watch if you're covered in this green?
Yes, if you are still covered in a flash flood watch, typically in areas that haven't been burned, we don't see that amount of debris potential coming down hillsides. So in terms of like deep landslides, we're not too concerned about that because the soils are so dry. We expect the soils to be able to absorb a lot of this rain. But with those high intensity rains, you could get some water rushing down off the soils that just can't absorb it fast enough. So there could still be a flooding in your area. So your garage might get washed out, your lower floors might get water in it, your cars might see some water in it. So those types of things. But each of you knows where you live, and if you live kind of in a bowl in a depression, that's the area where it's going to be worst. If you live in kind of a canal that drains down, that's where it's going to be high rates of flow through your area. So know where you live and know what your hazards are for your spot.
Okay, Brian, well, thank you so much for helping us out today. You know, it's amazing. We start out the day with lots of sunshine, but things quickly changing, and that seems like the main event is quickly moving in.
That's right, Mark. Thanks for having me again.
Okay, take care.
You too.
And we're going to stay on all of this weather news today, as it is one of the biggest stories that is breaking not only today but yesterday as well. I want to show you some of these shocking pictures and videos that we're getting from Storyful. That's what it's called. Take a look at this. Postal Service driver in Nebraska trying to get out of there, but we're going to head over to Arizona here momentarily. Wild, wild video. I do want to give you some news. Portions of 2 interstate highways were among multiple routes that remained closed this morning due to difficult driving conditions from winter weather in Arizona's high country. Winter storm warnings or advisories remained in effect in many parts of Arizona, and the National Weather Service said that heavy snow was falling from Flagstaff to Heber. Just wild, wild images here. In Nevada, higher elevation outlying areas of Metro Las Vegas got some light snowfall. Today, up to an inch was expected in some places before the storm was expected to taper off by midday. That's according to the National Weather Service. I'll show you this one. Video coming in from Tucson today. large flakes of snow falling down, looking more like a winter wonderland these days than the typical sunny Arizona. What about Chicago? Snow plows trying to pave the way in highways out there in Chicago. And this one right here in Lake Michigan of Chicago. Now, I will say Chicagoans are a little more used to this weather than us out here in Arizona. It was very abnormal to be seeing this type of weather, even though it is January and typically wintry still in most places. Last but not least, here in Iowa. Blankets of snow covering all of the cars out there. I don't even see any plows trying to clear up those streets, but they are pretty much used to it, definitely in Iowa. Just wanted to give you all of these winter updates from across the country. I'm Daytona Everett here with News Now from Fox. All of those images coming to us from our Storyful account. We're going to be